ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 1, chapter number 4, entitled as The Appearance of Sri Narad, and text number 50. Drishtvanuyantam atmajam api anagnam Devyo riya paridadurana sutasya chitram Tadvikshya pritchati manau jagadustavasti Stripum vedanatutsutasya vivikta drishte. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki translation. While Shri Vyasadeva was following his son, beautiful young damsels who were bathing naked covered their bodies with cloth. Although Shri Vyasadeva himself was not naked, but they had not done so when his son had passed. The sage inquired about this, and the young ladies replied that his son was purified, and when looking at them made no distinction between male and female, but the sage made such distinctions. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 5.18, it is said that a learned sage looks equally on the learned and gentle Brahman, a chandal, dog-eater, a dog or a cow due to his spiritual vision. Srila Shukadeva Goswami attained that stage. Thus, he did not see a male or a female. He saw all living entities in different dress. The ladies who were bathing could understand the mind of a man simply by studying his demeanor. Just as by looking at a child, one can understand how innocent he is. Shukadeva Goswami was a young boy 16 years old, and therefore all the parts of his body were developed. He was naked also, and so were the ladies. But because Shukadeva Goswami was transcendental to sex relations, he appeared very innocent. The ladies, by their special qualification, could sense this at once, and therefore they were not very concerned about him. But when his father passed, the ladies quickly dressed. The ladies were exactly like his children or grandchildren, yet they reacted to the presence of Vyasadeva according to the social customs, because Srila Vyasadeva played the part of householder. A householder has to distinguish between a male and female, otherwise he cannot be a householder. One should therefore attempt to know the distinction between body and the soul without an attachment for male and female. As long as such distinction is there, one should not try to become a sannyasi like Shukadeva Goswami. At least theoretically, one must be convinced that a living entity is neither male nor female. The outward dress is made of matter by material nature to attract the opposite sex, and thus keep one entangled in the material existence. A liberated soul is above these perverted distinctions. He does not distinguish between one living being and another. For him, they are all one and the same spirit. The perfection of this spiritual vision is the liberated stage, and Srila Shukadeva Goswami attained the stage. Srila Vyasadeva was also in the transcendental stage, but because he was in the householder's life, he did not pretend to be liberated soul as a matter of custom. Hare Krishna. So I welcome all of you to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class here at ISKCON Goregaon West. And today's shloka is dealing about the Shukadeva Goswami and Vyasadeva and the event which has happened between one father and the son. The last verse, Srila Prabhupada in his purport already discussed what is the difference between a liberated soul and the conditioned soul. So now, here in this verse, Srila Vyasadeva, being the literary incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is already a liberated person. And Shukadeva Goswami, he was a monist, but still being a monist, he was on a liberated stage. So He was not making any kind of a distinction between the human body, animal body, or a male or a female. In Bhagavad Gita, there is a very wonderful verse. Vidya vinayena sampanne brahmanye gavihastini shunicheva shvapakecha pandita samadarshina. After getting lot of knowledge, a person goes to a perfected stage. Vidya vinayena sampanne. And he gets humility. And out of that perfected stage, that person makes no distinction between different kind of living entities and personalities. A cow, a dog eater, or a Brahman. He sees everyone as an equal. According to our consciousness, according to our sanskaras, a same thing can be seen very different way. Just like a beautiful lady, if she is passing away from a street, there is a young boy, there is a tiger, and there is a saintly personality. These three people are there. Soul is the same part and parcel of Supreme Personality of Godhead, having a same composition of Satchidananda Vigraha. But still the samskaras which are present right now on that particular soul, okay, or the mind of which is the covering of that soul, according to that the personality view or perceive that particular event or another personality. So just like a beautiful woman is passing by, a young boy will see such a beautiful lady is going on, see she is such a beautiful, look at her hair, look at her walk and all those things. But if the saintly personality is there, he will be like, yeah, one more soul is going on, having a body or a dress of a woman, right? In that way he will see. And if a tiger is there, what tiger will think about it?
I have food to eat.
Mahaprasade Govinde. That's what the prayer of tiger will be, right? So as per our samskaras, we will see the thing or the people or the situation according to that. Now Shukadeva Goswami, being liberated for almost 16 years, he was in the womb of his mother. Generally, a boy or a girl or a child, he or she stays for 9 months. But here the child stayed for 16 years, and Vyasadeva's wife has to carry that Shukadeva Goswami for 16 years. Now somebody will say, why God, 16-year child, how she can carry so much, load, or she can have so much weight. See, these personalities are not an ordinary personalities. Something in our life which we have not experienced or which we have not seen through our this charma chakshu, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Something, a power which we have, as compared to others, it's a less power. That doesn't mean there are not more powerful personalities in this material world, right? Although we don't have biceps and triceps, that doesn't mean people don't have that kind of a strength in their bodies. So in this material world, the problem with us is that whatever we perceive, we consider it to be the ultimate truth, and it's the absolute truth, and nothing is beyond that perceivance. So that's what our ultimate conclusion, that whatever I have seen this material world, whatever I have experienced in this material world, that's what the absolute truth. But problem is that that's not the only truth which we are seeing. It might be the relative truth. According to the time, place, circumstances, this relative truth gets changed. Suppose I make a sabzi. For some person, that sabzi might be a very tikha. Prabhuji, it's too spicy. And for some person who is habituated for eating so much of spices, for that particular personality, it might be, yeah, it's okay. So now, which is the truth? Whether that sabzi is really spicy or not so much spicy. So most of the truths in this material world are actually a relative truth, not the absolute truth. And we, out of our ignorance, consider my experience to be the ultimate truth. And that's why most of the time we are always in illusion. There are the 4 defects in the living entity, that is imperfect senses, tendency to cheat, tendency to commit mistakes, and always in an illusion. So this illusory effect is always there because we consider our perseverance, whatever I have perceived through my imperfect senses to be the ultimate truth. And that's why we are always in illusion. Shukadev Goswami, being a perfected personality, he was not having such kind of an illusion within his heart or within his mind. So, after 16 years, when Lord Krishna personally came in front of him and promised that, see, you come out of womb. Shukadev Goswami said, I can't come out of womb. As soon as I come out, your external energy, Maya Devi, will have, her effect on me. And then my father will have affection on me, mother will have affection on me, they will speak such kind of a beautiful and nice words to me, and I will get attracted to them. I don't want to be in this illusory world and illusory relationships. So Krishna told and promised Shukadeva Goswami, just you come out of the womb, I promise you that my external energy will not affect you. And as soon as Shukadeva Goswami came out of the womb of his mother, what happened? He didn't look at his mother or his father, who is my father, who is my mother. He just started walking out of his home, out of that ashram, and just started walking. Right? So, Shukadeva Goswami, after seeing that my child just got a birth and I have not even introduced myself to my child, and I haven't seen my child, how he looks, how he behaves, what is his words, how he, having a sanskaras, and he just started walking. So that's why Vyasadeva started chasing Shukadeva Goswami. Oh, my dear son, come back, just get introduced to me and I will introduce myself to you. See, I am your father, she is your mother, why you are going away? And Shukadeva Goswami just started walking off. Nothing doing. Right? I am a liberated one. And he started walking. So then, while walking, there was one very beautiful talab, a lake, in which a very young ladies, they were taking bath. Now Shukadeva Goswami was 16-year person. He is totally into his youth. And he just came out of a womb. That means he was not wearing any kind of clothes. He just came out of womb and started walking. So when these ladies saw they were taking bath, they were not properly dressed. They saw Shukadeva Goswami and they just continued. Why? Because there is, most of the time we say it's a sixth sense of ours. We come to know by seeing one particular personality, by what mood he is looking at me, what kind of different kind of thoughts is going on inside the mind of that particular personality. It just comes into our heart. So this person is not good. Just by looking at him and having a small interaction with him or her, we can come to know that nahi, kuch to gadbad hai, kuch to gadbad hai, that type of a thing. So similarly, when these young ladies looked at Shukadeva Goswami was totally on a transcendental level. Pandita, Samadarshina. Even though the ladies not properly dressed, taking bath in that lake, he was completely oblivious. He completely neglected that, these are not ladies, these are just a soul in a woman dress. And he started walking. These ladies, they also understood that this is not an ordinary person. So they continued their bath. But when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, literary incarnation Vyasadeva came, they started closing their bodies, the half-naked bodies or improperly dressed bodies. Why is it so? Vyasadeva was little bit shocked. See, I am an old man. I don't have even a desire to enjoy with someone. But my young son was passing through here. You didn't hesitate it. You just continued your bath. And when I am going, you are, covering your bodies and all. Why is it so? Why this kind of a distinction is there? So this explanation which Srila Prabhupada is giving in a purport, that explanation has been offered by these ladies. The first thing, your son is a transcendental, totally oblivious of these bodies. He doesn't distinguish between male, female, or a insect, or a human being, or a paid podha. That kind of distinction is not there. He just sees the soul. He is on that platform, such a liberated platform, that he only looks towards the soul and the body to be the dress. Vasamsha jirnani yatha vihaya tatha sharirani naroparari. The body is like a coat. It's like an external dress. As soon as today I am wearing a fresh dress, till evening it will become still, or it will smell due to my uh, perspiration and all. And then next day I will take a fresh bath, and what I will do, I will take out my dress and put it for washing. So I'm not attached, oh my god, how can I take out my dress? Yesterday I wore that dress so nicely. Prabhu, I can't do this. We don't cry like this while taking out a dress. But when the body, it's the same like a dress, and we have to leave this body, what we do? नहीं, मुझे छोड़ के चले गए. All that kind of emotional thing starts due to our ignorance that we are not this body, we are spiritual. We don't know this. But still people are so attached to their bodies. One day we have to give up this dress, being a Rakshan Krishna Das, whatever this face is identified as Rakshan Krishna Das. Day after tomorrow or day after some years, I have to give up this body, right? And it's not like that the body will die on that day only. Naimittik pralay, that kind of a pralay shows that every day your body is dying. Every day you are taking, the new day is like a new birth for you, right? Ayur harati vaipumsa uddannastam chayannaso. So every setting and a rising of a sun is actually taking away our life from us. So we have to be very serious. What we should do? Utilize that time in Krishna's service and be a transcendentalist on the platform of soul. Just by hearing and reading, that particular stage can be obtained by even an ordinary person. So Vyasadeva has been offered such explanation that first thing, your son is a transcendentalist, so he was oblivious of these bodies. Now second, you are a Vyasadeva. First and foremost thing is that you are a Grahastha. And Grahastha, householder, has to make a distinction between male and female. Otherwise he can't be a Grahastha, right? To get married, male has to get married to female, female has to get married to male. And according to that, they have to make a distinction between them. When it comes to taking care of a progeny, you have to make a difference. There are different kind of requirements for the male progeny. There is a kind of a different requirements for a female progeny. So householder has to make that distinction. So that's why we have covered our bodies, because you are a householder. Okay, so a person artificially cannot come. Now Vyasadeva is a liberated soul. On the maturity of his spiritual life, he has compiled this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is recited by Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavuka. Great personalities, those who have already perfected their lives, they are taking interest, they are taking rasa from this Srimad Bhagavatam. That is what a compilation of Srila Vyasadeva is, a literary incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. But still, why his son is considered as a liberated soul and not him? And still, he is a literary incarnation, he is on a liberated stage, but still why he acted like this? He distinguished between male and female. Why is it so? Because Srila Prabhupada, writing in the last line of this purport, Srila Vyasadeva was also in the transcendental stage, but because he was in the householder's life, he did not pretend to be the liberated soul as a matter of custom. How we take in our life being a sadhaka, many times we see that most of the people, when they come into the touch of devotional service, they try to imitate the great soul, the Ashta Sattvik Vikar, the transcendental stage of this liberated people. And that kind of a Nayanam Galadashrudharaya Vadanam Gadagadardeya Gira, oh Krishna, they cry so much for Krishna. Although their stage is not purified, they are still on the sadhaka stage, but artificially people try to imitate the great souls. In this devotional service, we are not there for the imitation of great soul. We are not there for the anukaran of the great soul. Rather, we are there for anusaran and anushilan of the great soul, following the footsteps of the great soul. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, at the later stage of his life in Jagannath Puri, he exhibited all kind of this Ashta Sattvika Vikara. But being the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for us, it's not the stage that we will show all those kind of Ashta Sattvic Vikar and try to dance and chant and have a, tears in our eyes. For us, Cheto Darpanam Arjanam is the only stage. Ashlishava Padratam is not a stage for us. Nayanam Galadashrudharaya Vadanam Gadagadeyagira, that is not a stage for us. For us, the most important stage is Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreyah Kairava Chandrika Vitranam Vidya Vadhu Jeevanam. So that is what the stage for the sadhaka is. And once that abhadra or anartha will go on, naturally in due course of time, the stage of Nayanam Galada Shrudharaya will be awarded to us. Artificial imitation of such kind of a stage will only create a havoc in our life. It will only destroy the devotional service or Bhakti Lata Bij, which is just sprouting within our heart. So such kind of an artificial imitation is totally condemned by our acharyas. Even Srila Vyasadeva, although he is a literary incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead, he never imitated he never pretended to be a liberated soul. He always remained, as a matter of custom, a householder, and he followed all the duties of a householder life. So similarly, we will see there are so many people in this material world, within 1 month, they consider them to be the highest of all the devotees. They consider them to be the liberated souls, a pure devotee of the Lord. Some of them, they consider that I am the Acharya, I came to this material world just to liberate all of you. That kind of artificial imitation. There are so many people like that. They consider them to be I am the person after Srila Prabhupada who can be the Acharya. Right? So, such kind of people are actually, they don't advance in devotional service, and whoever their followers are there, the followers also don't advance in devotional service. Okay? There is one saying in Hindi, something, Kare narak mein thelam thela, something. What is that? Do you remember? Guru and Chela, Kare narak mein thelam thela, something. Yeah. That kind of one saying is from North India. Ki not a sincere Guru and his disciple is also not a sincere, then what is their destination? They will go to hellish planet for the artificial imitation of the great personalities. So that's why understanding what is my particular stage is right now. I am a conditioned soul, I am on a sadhaka level. For most important thing for me is the Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. And after, having understood the philosophy very nicely and very correctly, by my sincerity, when Krishna will become very happy on me, he will award all those stages to us. We don't have to do much endeavor for that. Yesterday, during Bhakti Shastri, we saw that in the third shloka of NOI, Srila Prabhupada writes, devotional service is such a merciful that the person who is a follower of this Bhakti Yoga, he will be forcefully dragged towards the success. So we don't have to artificially imitate anything. In due course of time, by our sincere heart and our sincere endeavor, everything will be awarded to the sadhaka. First and foremost thing, he should be sincere in his efforts or her efforts to clarify, to purify his heart out of anarthas, and he or she should completely engage in the devotional service according to the instructions of previous acharyas and the spiritual master. That's what clearly mentioned in each and every purport of Srila Prabhupada. Most of the purport Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing on this point. You have to take shelter of the bona fide spiritual master. So Shukadeva Goswami, although he is liberated, still he took the shelter of his father as a spiritual master. And Srila Vyasadeva, he imparted the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam of Shukadeva Goswami. Later on, Shukadeva Goswami became a spiritual master of Parikshit Maharaj and Sutta Goswami also. And later on, Sutta Goswami became a spiritual master for Shaunikadi Rishi and imparted the same knowledge. If the Guru is pramanik, Guru is honest, Guru is bona fide, definitely the Shishya or the disciples. The primary qualification of a spiritual master, he should be the devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. And then only he can elevate his disciples to the platform of Krishna Bhakti and Krishna Prema. Otherwise, there is no hope for a false guru, pseudo guru and his pseudo followers. We can get thousands and thousands of followers in this material world. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadesh kamaye, mama janmani janmani ishware bhavatad bhakti rahetu kitvai." I don't want any kind of a beauty, a beautiful woman or a wealth or a Aishwarya. What I want is a Hetuki Bhakti, life after life, life after life, life after life. That is what actually dhana of a devotee of the Lord. Krishna Naam and Krishna Katha is actually what the dhana or the Aishwarya of a sincere devotee. And Krishna becomes very pleased with such kind of an attitude of a sadhaka, and then he awards all those kind of beautiful transcendental awards to that sincere sadhak. So that's what I wanted to share with all of you for today. Don't try to imitate Shukadeva Goswami or any other kind of gurus or the spiritual masters or acharyas artificially. One day will come when that by our sincere efforts in chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we will be awarded with that stage, we will be awarded with that kind of an emotions towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे।